Hello and welcome to this tutorial on using the new Redfield plugins introduced in Build 8 of Synapse 7.1. There are 5 new effects in total and they can all be found by going to the image menu and selecting Redfield. Like eye candy, these effects work directly in Synapse and can be applied to both vectored and bitmap objects, and the range of effects that can be achieved with these new plugins is literally endless. My advice to you would be to experiment with each one in turn to get an idea of the effects that you can create. Once inside the main Redfield window, you can click this link which will take you directly to the Redfield website. From here it's possible to view a whole host of samples and fuel your imagination, as well as purchase other Redfield plugins which will all work in Synapse with the same ease. For this tutorial I'm going to show you how the effects you see on screen were created. Although this was done using one of these new plugins, the principle of using all of them is the same. Have a look at how it's done and then check out these great new effects for yourself. Okay, on screen I have the original photo, and to this I have added some basic text. My first task is to use eye candy to apply the chrome effect. So with the text selected, I go to the image menu and select eye candy and then chrome. All the settings, including the default resolution, will remain unchanged for this particular effect, so I can click OK and move on to the main eye candy window. If you've used Synapse 7.1 before, then I'm sure you will be familiar with these options. The beauty of these plugins is there is no right or wrong. Simply play around with the various properties here until you get the effects you're after. I want a nice sharp bevel here and very few ripples within the chrome. Once I've adjusted the properties to suit, I can then click OK and return to the main Synapse screen. The next step is this soft glowing shadow you see around the text. To get this effect, I must select both the text and my background photo. Now I can return to the image menu and select Eye Candy, Shadow Lab. This effect will be applied to the background image, in this case the picture of the city rather than the actual text. And because the shadow will fade away at the edges, I will need to select the inside-outside option here. One of the unique features of all plugins in this latest build of Synapse is being able to select my bitmap source and paths from menu drop-downs. My bitmap source is the picture, so from this drop-down that's what I'll select, and my path source is my text, which I will select from this menu. I can now click OK and view my options in the next window. By default, the Shadow Lab function will use black, so to change this I simply click on the coloured square to reveal a colour picker. From here it's possible to choose any colour for the shadow, and I'm going to be using white. As with previous effects, these property sliders can be adjusted to achieve any number of results. I want a reasonably soft shadow here with very little offset. Once happy, I can click OK and again return to my main Synapse screen. Okay, so up till now I have used only eye candy, but in the next stage I will be showing you one of the new Redfield plugins. Before I do that, I need to duplicate the image to generate the mirrored view below. First I'm going to select all objects and go to the layout menu and select group. Now to duplicate the objects. There are several ways that this can be done in Synapse, and one way I like to use is to press and hold the Control and Alt keys together on the keyboard. Then, whilst keeping them held down, click on the middle nub of the selected object and move it down the page until you reach the desired position. This will do two things. First and most obvious, it will create a copy of the selected images, but secondly, it will constrain any movement of those images to the same axis, so the image below is perfectly in line with that above. I can now mirror the bottom copy, and I'm going to do this by right mouse clicking on the center nub and choosing mirror and then vertical from this list. Okay, so I'm now ready to apply the ripple effect to the bottom image, and this is where the new Redfield plugins can be used. With the bottom text and photo grouped and selected, I'll go to the image menu and select Redfield. From the flyout menu that appears, I'll be using water ripples. The next window is identical to that found when applying an eye candy effect. Here I can select the bitmap source, which will be my current fill, and the image quality, which I will leave on the default setting of 120 dpi. Clicking OK will take me to the main Redfield window. Here I can adjust many different properties to get the results I'm after. What will become obvious from the start here is the number of different properties that can be adjusted. A good place to start is with the presets available from this drop-down menu. The chances are you can find an effect here that will suit your design, or if not, one that is pretty close and only requires minor tweaking to get it right. I'll start by selecting a suitable preset effect, and then I'm going to slightly adjust the brightness, and then the area that the effect covers by sliding this button here. Like any plugin, there is no right or wrong, just experiment until you get the results you're looking for. When you're happy with your settings, simply click and return to the main Synlab screen. And it's that simple to add individuality to your everyday designs, and the great thing is that all of these new plugins work with the same ease. For more information on all CADLink's products, including additional plugins that can be purchased to add to Synlab, take a look at our website at www.cadlink.com.